How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. And today we have none other than Nick and Maddie from Hustlin Horsepower with us. And we have co host Jasper with us. And we'll get started and have a little bit of fun today. And we'll talk about some tech and let's see what's going on with Nick and what he's been up to lately. And enough to Jasper here. How's it going, Jasper? What's going on with you? What's new and exciting? I see stuff in the background there.
Yeah, they're wanting me to look right now to see what I think about how this window fits.
Okay.
I love it. It could never be more perfect. We don't even got a second tight this one.
At least if guys helping you out, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're trying to slam this car for Kentucky this weekend.
Okay.
We're going to go either way. And as Nick and Maddie were just talking to us before we were on air, it is not that much fun going to a race without a car. So we're really trying to get it done.
You're always welcome to be.
Go ahead.
You're always welcome to be a photographer or help us out.
No,
if you're bored.
A lot more fun doing that than nothing. It looks like all we pretty much need is some fuel line. We're going to have to run down and see Nick Taylor and grab our fuel cable back. We've been letting him borrow. And we got the floor all in, all the turbo kits done, the seats mounted. We got to mount some seat belts and do the brakes. That's it.
Okay. Well, that sounds exciting. I think that's definitely doable. Getting all of that. And that's the orange car or your new car?
New car.
Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Gonna hurt some feelings, huh?
I think the orange car's gonna hurt feelings. We're gonna put a big block in that one, so try to go fast for once.
Okay. So what's the plan for everybody? Are you running two different cars this year?
Yeah, at a lot of times I might be in the orange one or I might be in the red one. My buddy bought Little Cousin, and we're gonna put an aluminum 540 in it with a 106, and then I think we're gonna try to set that up a little more for like front of the track so that we don't have to change my car over to go to both and leave mine a little more for the crappier surfaces.
Okay. Well, it sounds like an exciting year. You're gonna have your hands full for sure.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I really like being able to break one and get in another.
Well, that's a good thing about Catch Days and some of the events. Hopefully, they'll let you do that. It would be nice if you could just switch cars and you just by name, not the car. But, anyways, well, cool. We have some. You want to introduce our guests?
We have Nick. Probably butcher this. Plewniak.
Close enough.
Plewniak. And Maddie. And they're from Hustlin Horsepower. Everyone pretty much already knows them because they drive some of the most unique vehicles anyone's ever drove in no prep. And we're just going to ask them a bunch of questions about what they do and how they do it. And then Nick is a really smart guy. I've traveled all over the country. I talked to tons of people. He is by far one of the smartest people I talked to in the pit. So it should be a lot of fun.
I don't know about all that.
I second what he said.
You're like us. You try to jump out of bounds and do weird things. So to me, that's awesome.
We've been able to do some pretty cool stuff with the handicaps we give ourselves, but in doing so, you get to learn a whole lot more things, and you'll get to find different ways to I don't know,
make something work. Yeah.
And sometimes there's definitely different ways to achieve the same goal, but some ways are more efficient, some ways are more I don't know, less prone for screw ups and stuff like that. But you got to go through and find your way to do it.
Or good wheelies.
Yeah, once in a while. The 30 was fun. We did wheelies on purpose in that car just because we only had 3 inches of suspension travel in the front of that car. So doing the no prep stuff, you couldn't make it work slow with having a drop axle up there and so much unsprung weight. So it was a fine line between, limit ride, low 5-second passes on the front side no prep stuff. And we went faster than that on the backside no prep stuff with the 33 by being able to smooth everything out. But the 33, that thing was fun. That was my first top to bottom, front to back, complete build. That I pulled that thing out of a barn that had sat in since 1956, and it was 100% complete factory 30 Plymouth used sedan. And
Had wooden wheels on it when you pulled it out of the barn.
yeah, that was a funny story. I don't know. I could go on and talk 10 minutes just about getting that car and stuff like that. And I actually returned my uncle's truck with no gas in it because I was out of money. I lost my job just before I bought that car. Just before I bought that car, I lost my job, and it was like I've always wanted to build like a 7-second 4-door like old gangster car. I was like, this one's it. So my uncle was like, hey, here's a full tank of gas. Go out there and go pick up the car. So I went out there and picked up the car and returned his truck on E because I didn't have enough. Like I was broke. I had no money left, and I went racing for like the last month or something like that with my previous car, just on savings and stuff like that. And we were having some fun, but but that was a cool car. That was a complete ground up build, and I started working on that car for about 2 months straight without spending more than like probably $250. Just doing a whole bunch of elbow grease putting that car together before I started had the funds together, start buying the tubing and start building up the cage and doing all the real work on the car.
Yeah, that's awesome. You made such an impact on the world. I think when people first saw that car, all I saw was videos all over the place on social media, on YouTube, was when you guys brought out Dirty 30, because I think nobody saw anything like it. And you're kicking butt out there. Actually, you're doing pretty darn good, if I remember right.
Yeah, we won 820s, 170 on just 93 octane pump gas, and driving all over the place. I wish I would have sent some pictures in from like me, Maddie, and the dog. Sexy Rexy, he's under here, but we'd just go like cruise around. There'd be like nights that like we worked all night or worked like just worked like idiots. And we're like, you know what, let's go get some ice cream or something like that. And that turned out to like 150-mile-an-hour cruise, just driving around town, just putting on miles with me, her, and the dog in the back seat. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I ended up taking the rear window out of the car because they had a factory 1930 glass in the back window. I did optic armor in the roof, so it had a see-through like sunroof that was a 4x8 sheet, and then all optic armor windows all the way around. But it still had the factory rear glass in it, and we came down from a couple hard wheelies, and the glass started loosening up. So we ended up taking the window right out, and that was probably Rex's favorite part about the car, because we'd be driving down the street and he'd have his head hanging out the back window. It was freaking comical. But yeah, that was fun. We went a 5.16 at 148 in that car, and just before we lost it, that car became a whole nother. I cut the whole car apart and redid the whole rear suspension and front suspension. Literally, like, I don't know. That was
You finished it a couple weeks or a couple days or whatever.
Yeah, like 2 days. I literally rolled the car right off the lift and into the trailer, and we shot down to Ohio and made a couple test hits, and then went to a cash days, and we went virgin asphalt road. We went a 130, 160 foot with the thing. It's like, okay, we're onto something here. Like, this car's got some potential. And then yeah, we lost the car the next day at that cash days. The day before, after that. But yeah. But I was pretty happy with the 130, 160 foot right off the trailer. Like, that was a third 60 foot hit on that, I think.
Awesome. And so then after all that happened, you changed things. I think you've been making changes, right?
Yeah. So like so after that car, I guess we went and we were supposed to be traveling right after with that car. We had some really cool things lined up for that summer and that fall, like all over the country, like some pretty big stuff, like big stuff. And we're like, okay, we're gonna sell the house and we're gonna go traveling with this car. So she sold her pickup truck. I sold my truck. We started consolidating everything, and then we had 5 months, and like we're already sold now. Like, we're going traveling and racing, but now we don't have a car. So in 5 months we built the 33, and
homegrown Hustler.
The homegrown Hustler, and that car had just unbelievable potential. But yeah, that car was gonna be something else. But we decided
there you go.
We got pit maneuvered in November in that one, so we'll be starting on something else. We're down here in North Carolina now, and we'll be renting a shop once it becomes available here shortly. and we're gonna start on another car with intentions of debuting it in July for that $150,000 race. And
The dig or die.
yeah, we ain't showing
Yeah.
up there unless I feel like we have definitely have a car that could win it. So
Awesome. Well, we'd love to invite you to our event. We have a double chaos in West Virginia the weekend after, if you're interested. If you guys got a car ready for it, it's
Yeah,
still in the
we'll,
same area.
yeah, I think I personally think I could knock out a car top to bottom, front to back in 45 days, and with the hopes, I think it'll give us about 60 days. If we're able to start on the car early May, it'll give us about 60 days until the race in July. And I think that's enough time to build it and basically come out swinging with the next car that we build.
That's awesome. That's amazing what you've done from building that and your knowledge you've put in to be able to build a car like 45 days. Or I've seen what you've been doing, kind of watching you on your timeline of what you've been doing in the background, and it's quite incredible, your skill set. I mean, I think you can just do about everything from what I saw, from chassis work to just everything. Not a lot of people can do all that.
We're not really. I can't say I'm great at anything, but I'm pretty decent at quite a bit of different things, and that's the only reason why we're able to do what we're able to do is, I mean, to be able to do a lot of things that we did. If we had to pay someone, shit, we'd like. Yeah. There's no possible way we could pay someone else to do the things we do, and I mean, I still got to have the being able to put in this much work into something. I still have to have the personal gratification in doing it. So just because it takes so much energy, not just us, anyone that's really doing this stuff, either hardcore or moderately hardcore or whatever, it just affects every other aspect of things, that you really have to have a passion for what you're doing. So I don't know. I've thought about building like a cookie cutter car, a car that has more of the better bones to start with, but doing the old school cars and stuff like that. I don't know. I've been doing that for like 6 years now or so, between the 30 and the 33, and I'm starting to figure out those old cars and what they really want to be able to make them work, and try to compete with the more. I'm trying to not use that name word, like, you stamp cookies. Something else besides that, something that's just not along the lines of your normal typical race car. But I don't know. In my opinion, a lot of the typical race cars that are popular and are good, a lot of them are popular and they are good because the aftermarket support for them so well. I don't necessarily believe that all those cars have the best bones to be as good as they can be, but there's just a lot of aftermarket support for a lot of different rides out there, which makes it a lot of knowledge sharing and stuff like that, and a lot of friends can share knowledge, like the stuff that we're doing. There's not a lot of like
our platform is not
our platform's like
universal between another group of cars.
So like I can't be like, hey, I can say what, like, what kind of 60 foot are you targeting or this that, but almost everywhere we go, we're when we're racing, we're just by ourselves mostly. Like if we had another car or two that we could share knowledge with about what our targets are and stuff like that, I think we'd be a whole lot better. But we've done pretty damn well with just my just using my knowledge to kind of guess what the surface can handle 60 foot wise, 330 wise, what the rate of acceleration can be like at different parts of the track and stuff like that. And it's hard. I don't want to say it's not easy, and you got to really be on top of your game to be able to pick that stuff off with just seeing it with your eye and understanding how different chassis work to be able to guess what the other people are doing. And that's one of the hardest parts about this no prep stuff, is being able to not necessarily, like, there's times when you'll see like our 60 foot time and you'll be like, oh, that's a 650 pass, and you'll see our finish line pass and it's like, god damn, he just went in the fours, right? So like it's the no prep stuff's weird, that there's not a very good correlation on different surfaces from 60 foot times to 330 times to eighth mile times. It can be some really weird stuff. There's times when we're going 113 60 foot, and that's like relatively fast, like low 110 60 foots. Then there's times when we're going 145, 60 foots, and that's fast. You know what I mean? So like it's a huge spread of what the cars have to be capable of, and especially nowadays with the cost of fuel money and stuff like that, you got to be able to go and make the car as versatile as you can to race maybe on a front side one day and then on the back side the next day, and be able to do it so that you can be repeatable. And that's one of the things I really try to concentrate on, especially with my health issues and stuff like that. Is we can't be doing like major changes to the car, so I got to build in a lot of features into the car where it's stuff that we can knock out like in a half hour, or maybe can go knock out by herself, just to change the car from front side no prep to back side no prep, or this or that. And
what do you use? What do you use for technology? Like, I know it's an old school car, but how do you make it work and get down the track? I'm sure a lot of people are probably interested in maybe who don't know some of the tech. Like, what do you use to control your engine and management and all that?
I use Holley EFI, and I do a lot of cool stuff with it, but I don't know, EFI systems and all that stuff, that doesn't replace the mechanical workings of anything. So that's just facts of it. And not many people want to go into it, and not a lot of people want to study that aspect of it, because it's a whole lot easier to do power management than chassis management. And that's just the fact.
One of the bonuses I would say about going about it the way you do without having a Mustang like everyone else, or a 69 Camaro, or a S10, one of the three, is that you learn more about like what the numbers actually are, or what the science behind what's going on, which I think is way more valuable. Where most of these Mustang guys are literally just asking buddies, getting some sort of tip, seeing something online, where like you're actually understanding instant center of gravity, what moving the upper bar compared to the lower bar is, shortening the upper bar. So I think that's kind of cool in a sense. It's not the fastest way to get there, but at least like you learn actually what to do, rather than I feel a ton of people have run Mustangs all their life and just do what they're told.
Somebody else is told. Yep.
We've literally went out to the track and helped out some people doing this no prep stuff, and we've literally helped them pick up, I don't know, 2-3 tenths to the 330, just by doing like shock adjustments, like no hard changes, just shock adjustments and tire pressure, like simple stuff. And and if you could pick up 2-3 tenths to the 330, like you're
like at Onondaga, you helped me with my tire, taking a look at it when you were helping me on the line, and we obviously saw we had way too little air in it because it had about 7 wrinkles instead of 3. But you get to learn that stuff, I feel like, easier than with a Mustang, just because everyone has a recipe.
We have to run our car, the cars that we do, we have to run them a whole lot more efficient to match better, I don't want to say better suited, but like a better suited car. So we got to run our efficiency. I'm not sure you could really put a number on it, but let's say we got to run our car at 90% efficient when someone else could run their car at 75% efficient and achieve the same ETs and targets that we're racing. So it's much more challenging, and like I've been so tempted to actually build like a more, I'll just say a cookie cutter car or something like that. You know what I mean? Just like a more typical style race car, just to really see what the threshold is on something that I feel like was legit purpose built for like the type of racing that we do. And I don't know, until someone comes in and like fronts the bill to do a car like that, it's not worth it to me, because I still got to have the personal satisfaction of I like the challenge. I don't know, I'm screwed up because there's way too much money on the line to be that type of person. But at the same time, like I don't like with the amount of money that we lost the last 2 years, I don't really care about money no more. Like it just is what it is. And if it's not fun, and if it's not enjoyable, and if it's not if I'm not learning from it, it loses its value to me real quick. So I'm just different, I guess.
You're actually a very humble person, I think. And I remember the first time that I met you guys, you're so humble and great people, and you helped so many people. And everybody, if I mentioned your name, everybody had a smile. and says so many good things about you guys. When you guys come up to the line, people are cheering for you. I mean, all over the place. I think it was a War in the Woods. I first met you guys, and the whole crowd was going bunkers behind you guys. So
I know one person that wasn't cheering for him.
Oh well. And I don't know. I don't like to hold grudges, but at the same time, I want to go somewhere. Like when we got to War in the Woods, I told Maddie, I said, I feel like we got a car here. They'll go to the final four. After that, it's going to be who has bigger balls, and that's just what it is. And Brandon Mork definitely had bigger nuts than us. We went the same mile an hour the second pass as we did going into the final 8 cars or something like that when the door opened up. And if the door didn't open up, we would have made it down to 4 cars. And I told her, I'm going to run the car to a certain target where I feel like we could be competitive and win rounds, but I'm not going to push the envelope until we're guaranteed money. Because, like, I think we can go another 5-10 miles an hour faster. And I think we can knock off another 1/10 and a half out of the ET. But I'm not willing to do that just yet because, like, we only had a single parachute on the car, and I have the VPS on the car to, like, automatically deploy the chute if the car gets sketchy or something like that. But, like, it was starting to get late out, and it's just like, I was just on that threshold there. It's like, do I want to try to go up another 5-10 miles an hour faster than what we're doing here or not? So I just started chipping off at the 60 foots a little bit, and I don't know, second, third, fourth round or whatever it was, I didn't touch the tune-up past, like, I don't know, 1.5 seconds in the run. It just stayed exactly the same, and it wanted a whole lot more out there. It's just, I don't know, it's just a confidence thing, and it was what they do coming in and stuff like that. Like, if the chute doesn't open up, I just wasn't willing to risk another car where there's no way that we could come out and put another car together in a couple months.
People to be willing to put their cars at risk like that and do what they did to push it that hard on there. Some of the guys were telling me that they could barely stop. And they said if they go any faster, I said, I'm going up the hill. And it's like, geez, and these guys are pushing it that hard to go like that. And they said everybody's nuts for racing. I heard that from so many people in the background, you know what I mean? They told me that.
We'll have 2 chutes on the car next time we show up there.
Okay.
Because I don't think we would have had anything for Brandon Mork. That car was rolling. But I think we could have made it a race if I went and, like, gave the car, like, what it wanted. I think we could have made it a race. I'm quite sure he would have had us by a car or so. But if you're within a car length on a race like that, it can be anyone's game. So, like, make it a race and see what happens, kind of thing. And you got to jump on the scramble to try to put a nose on him and go for it. But no, he had pretty much everyone covered at that race. After I saw the second or third pass, I was like, he's probably making it down, making it to the finals, or at least down to the final 4. But yeah, it's I don't know. I can usually pick out, even in a car with like 30 cars or so. If I see 1 or 2 passes, you could generally pick out what cars are going to the finals. Like, as long as something stupid doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. I hear you definitely. It was a good event. You guys did well with your car. You always kept it straight and doing good. And at that event, so many friends that I saw that crashed. I'm just thankful you kept your head on straight. And a lot of people just went for it and you didn't. And I'm impressed by that.
If we didn't lose a car, whatever, 7 months before that, I mean, we would have been going probably, I don't know, 1/10 and a half faster than what we were, and probably another 10 miles an hour because the car wanted it. And that was the shittiest thing about losing that car, is we never found out what the threshold on that car was. Like, that thing just basically, like, when I was giving it to it, like, it never said screw you. It never said, like, this is my limit. And I don't know. That car was special, and I could only hope that the next car we build has, near the potential of what the homegrown Hustler had, because that car was going to be something special.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing your new car. I think it's amazing because you get to put all the knowledge from both those cars into this one here.
That's what sucks, though. With the 33, we only had the car together 5 months. So, like,
we were
in those 5 months, there's not one thing that I literally found out that I would have done different on that build. And, like, usually, like, I mean, the 30, I had that car together, like, a month, and I was like, okay, this is what I would have done. This is different. This is what I would have done different. And then I'm like, we had the car together 5 months, and it's just like, there's a couple things that I want to start adding to it, but like, there's not one thing on that car that was like, okay, you should have done this differently. That's what sucks about that car. But
So are you building this one kind of like that one basically then?
Yeah, it'll have a lot of the same characteristics just because, it'll be a very similar platform. The wheelbase is going to be factory wheelbase. The truck was a lot longer than what the next car is going to be. They're just hard to find those 33, 34 Dodge trucks with that wheelbase. So I'm going to have to change some percentages and stuff like that as far as a weight bias. Change some of the pickup points in the rear suspension, like the base settings and stuff like that, just to deal with the shorter wheelbase. But I think we'll be able. I've been brainstorming some things and some things that we're going to integrate into the next car. Shut up. Integrate into the next car to help combat some of the things that like the 33 had, like with the 33 front side no prep racing. We were going we went 155 water burnout only front side no prep. We went 155, and the front tires we went through the traps with the front tires like 1.5 feet in the air. So it's a hell of a ride. Like, don't get me wrong, we carried the tires from 2.2 seconds in the run all the way until the finish line, and we went through the finish line at 155. So it gained 50, 60 miles an hour just on the back tire, riding the back tire, like all the way from like, I don't know, 130 feet, 140 feet out. About 200 feet out, all the way to 660 feet. So we were well over 400 feet on the rear tire and gained, quite a bit of mile an hour just riding the back tire the whole way. But that's not the fastest way down the track, because ideally we should have been able to give it more power if the front tires were on the ground.
So shorter wheelbase should make a difference for you guys?
Yeah, most definitely. It changes the center of gravity. It changes, the shorter the wheelbase, the slower you got to make the rear end work, and the more particular you got to be with the instant center on the car and how fast you make the suspension work and so on and so forth. So, shorter wheelbase, you got to make the rear suspension work. At least in the stuff that we're doing, you got to make it work a little bit slower and change like that, how the suspension works in an active scenario as it's going down the track, kind of thing.
I had a question for you. So towards the end, I saw you had the way the car sat differently on your last build, on the last car you had, and you made some changes, and I saw that it went down the track really good, actually. Are you going to utilize something similar to a setup like that, or not at all?
Yeah, on the 33, we had the whole thing adjustable. There's no, there's a lot of things that we won't talk about, but
I don't know if it's give secrets away.
But yeah, on the 33, that car was pretty cool because I could adjust crankshaft center line. And we could basically adjust the whole center of gravity on the vehicle with the jack screws I machined up, and the third shock setup and stuff like that. So
wow.
Yeah, we could go anywhere from, we went as fast as a 113 60 foot, all the way down to 165 60 foot, or in the 140 60 foot range at like backside of the track racing, like low 140s, all with the same spring rate on the car, same springs, same some shock settings stuff different, of course, and then just by utilizing some different things I'm using, and never wheelie the car. So in the first 150 feet of the pass, and that's pretty difficult to do. But once you figure it out, like there's some big potential in it.
That's awesome. Jasper.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought we lost you there for a minute.
No, I'm just letting them talk. My question would be, was the race car bed your favorite bed to sleep on all year?
It was pretty comfy. we were trying to decide this, like, what was better, the toter-home, the futon in the toter-home that we live in, my mom's couch, Maddie's mom's couch, or the race car bed. And I don't know, the race car bed's up there.
They had a memory foam mattress in it, didn't it?
I think I had like a memory foam mattress in the race car bed. Yeah. Like, the toter home, the bed in the toter home, the futon that we sleep on, like we live in our truck, right? So like that thing's not horrible. I didn't want to say otherwise, but like the race car bed's definitely more comfortable. I think we can fit a race car bed inside the toter home. What do you think? Should we go buy one? We might have to go buy a race car bed to put inside the toter home.
I'll give you that one
Really?
free. My old lady's making me throw it out, and I don't know what to do with it, and it's sweet.
Well, want to put it in the toter home, or we'll put it in the stacker? We'll have like a office, like a guest room in the trailer. We got the truck and trailer up for sale, and Exped sells.
You
Someone
need
wants
to
it.
put like a turbo in the front of it and some stickers.
We could do something.
Whatever you want to do, Nick.
You game?
Yeah, it can be the bed you sleep in when you're in the doghouse.
Ooh.
We need the extra bed.
See, this is what guys don't understand, right? You gotta make your doghouse as comfortable as possible. That's the thing. Like Jasper's got his garage out there, and like
Yeah, he got his spot.
he needs to survive, right? Like
Right.
his doghouse is legit. As long as people aren't jealous of your doghouse, the doghouse ain't have it like that. It's just a mental game, and as long as you're like mentally strong enough to deal with being in the doghouse, hey, like the doghouse is where the bones are. You know what I mean? Like it ain't that bad.
Oh, so true. Oh, you never know what comes up. Oh, love it. Totally. You guys are awesome, man. Such a great couple, and they really work well together. I admire you guys, and I saw you guys just grow through the year because we've seen you so many places. And hats off to you guys just for the teamwork you guys do. If you guys were arguing, I never knew. If you guys had a bad day or you were in the doghouse, I never knew that because we couldn't tell.
It happens.
Oh man.
I'm not afraid to tell Nick he's being an idiot.
What you called me earlier?
I don't remember.
Oh, Jeff said truthfully. Truly, excuse me. Truth.
The thing is, like us, like we're just about like real. You know what I mean? Like not every day is a good day, not every day is a shitty day, and like I don't know, like so the biggest problem I think with like all the social media stuff is people try to compare like their real life to someone else's highlight reel, and you know what I mean? Like it's just a screwed up deal. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, a lot of the time social media only shows everybody's like great things that they've done. And even then, like it's not always that great.
yeah,
I don't know. They make it seem better than it is.
And like,
So we try to not be.
We've been around this stuff for like too long, and like not to say it that way. Like we're still young, right? But like I've been around this stuff my whole life, and Maggie's been around it for 5 years now, and like this is what we do. Like we do it a lot. So I don't know. You get to see things that like you get to see certain things for what they actually are, and not what the perception is on it. And I don't know, it changes your outlook on certain things. But hey, whatever. We just try to have fun and do our deal, and like I don't know. We've met some damn good people doing it though, and I mean that's the funnest part about it. But
I think a lot of people follow you guys because you guys are just an open book like that. You guys share everything. I mean, in fact, I was going to pull up Maddie's page here for a second so everybody to see the other side of things here. Give me a second. If you guys haven't checked out Lady Gangster Racing, you guys get to see a whole nother side of things on her page right there. Lots of videos going on. And on top of that, please go like and subscribe to them, subscribe to their channel. I'm telling you, you're going to love the content. They're great people, and they do share everything. And Hustlin Horsepower, too. You guys got to definitely go check out their page over there. You can follow them and see what's going on and the adventures they're on, where they're traveling to, So they're always going someplace. That's all I got to say.
We've been slacking a little bit on the social media side the last little bit, but we're working on a friend's car, and until we get the shop to rent and stuff like that, so we can start working on our own car. We've been helping out on a friend's car a little bit, and
Awesome.
like give us something to actually like
Keep us busy and keep us involved.
have a purpose to go to the track with, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Otherwise, it just gets like we said earlier, and like what Jasper said earlier, it gets boring when you're not personally vested into something, and like I don't know. There's just different types of people in this world, right? And there's nothing wrong with being one type of person or another type of person, but
you got to do what works for you.
it's like I don't know. This stuff is like enjoyable to me, but it's not entertainment to me. Like it's it's
You like the challenge more, you think?
I like the challenge of it. And, like,
Okay.
I used to be like a pretty decent athlete, and then I can't be a good athlete no more because like my medical issues. So this is the next best thing of being able to, you know, when it's right, like we did good. When it's wrong, we screwed up. And like when it's on us, like I can live with that, right? And as long as our like screw ups are our screw ups, and like our good times are our good times, and don't get us wrong, like we have people that help us out and stuff like that, and people that we bounce ideas off of and whatever. But ultimately, it's 99% of the time it's just me and Maddie like making the judgment calls and
Rex.
and
He's having a bad
It's
dream.
I hear the dog down there.
he's having a bad dream down there. Rexy.
It's okay.
Come say hi.
And then
Come
well,
here.
one of the toughest things is Maddie only knows as much as I taught her. So like that's kind of difficult. But like it is a good like she's here like you can't I don't know, like having her there is like extremely beneficial. Simply because like I don't know, maybe she has a better like memory than me. And I write a lot of stuff down.
Oh no.
We write a lot of stuff down. But having her there and being like, hey, remember when we did this and this worked, and like so on and so forth, and like I could go back and look at different videos on the phone or something like that, and like I could there's a lot of cool stuff there we do as tuning wise and stuff like that. But
There's a lot I've learned, but I've definitely like it takes a lot of time. So I've learned everything over the years and I'm continuing to learn, but you can't just have anybody show up and be like, try to explain it to them because I don't know, not every situation is straightforward. You got to be able to refer back to past
some of the best
past
stuff
scenarios.
is when we're doing something like in testing, right? And we do something like completely off the wall, but like it's testing, right? So like we'll purposely line up outside of the groove, right? And people are like, "Oh my goodness, Maggie's an idiot. She's lining them up out of the groove."
I saw you guys there once. My bag. I shouldn't have said
Like, oh
nothing.
my goodness. Like, it's like,
I felt
It's
so
okay.
bad.
It's okay.
it's like it happens all the time. Or like we'll be doing something where like we'll intentionally like change our rates of acceleration at the track, right? So that we can try to accelerate. Like this is just testing and stuff like that, where we can try to accelerate at a different distance and like cram in a bunch of power at a different rate to see how the chassis is gonna work. Like if it got upset or something like that, and like if something dropped off here or there, or like testing different methods. Like in the Holley system, I do like a fair amount of like ladder logic, I guess you could call it, in what they call it, like in industry terms or whatever. But where we have different things going on if the pass doesn't go right, and I mean we just had some bad luck this past year, but we had the car together 5 months and we went to 7 finals, and like that car could have easily won us $100,000 last year. Like no joke, like could have easily won us $100,000 if we had a little bit, not even bad luck, even if we had no luck at all, right? Like I feel like we had enough that we could have won the money, but like I don't know, some bad luck or whatever, and like we lost some passes that like there's no way in hell we should have lost or whatever, or the other guy just like completely swung for it. Like we're targeting our ET, which is one of the best ETs of the round, and from like this all personal opinion, I guess you could say, but like we're targeting some of the fastest ETs of the round, and we hit it and we lose, and it's just like
That's
like,
part of racing.
that's
Like
part of
it
racing,
sucks,
though.
but
Like,
that's part of what it is.
it's just part of the game. And the next car, like I think I'm gonna change my targets basically on like how we race this next car that we're gonna be building, and just like literally like try to aim to be like make the fastest pass every round, and like just like run the car not on the ragged edge, but like stop leaving like what could have been a couple tenths faster pass in the past, just to like match everyone else's thing. And it screwed us a couple times.
You can run a lot of different maps on there for different scenarios to help it be a lot more successful for different readings and traction and things like that with the Holley system.
Yeah, you can do all that stuff, but that just slows you down. Like if you can't read a track and you can't make your chassis work, like you're gonna be traction control.
Mhm.
Traction control is unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, it's good stuff, and it definitely has its no, you're good. It definitely has its area to be successful. Having traction control, but if you're running traction control
Like relying on it.
if you're relying on
I was
traction
just gonna
control
say yeah, because you don't know what you're doing with the chassis.
to maintain a certain ET or run a certain ET,
It's a Band-Aid, not a fix.
Yeah.
There you go. I was waiting for that.
if you gotta be able to find the threshold of the chassis
Mm-hmm.
for whatever you're targeting, and then put like traction control is basically putting a cap on something. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is how fast, like this is just how fast we're gonna go. This is the rate of acceleration that we're gonna target. And if the car wants to go faster, well, and the thing is, if you're running traction control, well, guess what? All that testing is just freaking useless because, like, not useless, but you could only go that fast. So, like, you don't know what it could have handled. You don't know where that threshold is, and the hardest part about finding or going like being really good at this stuff is knowing what the threshold of your car is on different surfaces, and like the surfaces vary so much from track to track, or front side and the back side no prep, or asphalt to concrete to whatever it may be, or if it's a bumpy surface or this or that. And traction control, it definitely has its place, and but I'm not sure if it's ever made anyone faster.
Gotcha. So let me ask you something off the wall a little bit. So what is your secret? You guys have been together for quite some time. You work together, you build cars together, you enjoy life together. What's your secret sauce for you guys? I see that smile over there.
They distract them with Maddie
They got
lining them up
something.
first.
Yeah.
Then Rexy runs out into the other lane.
Oh, there we go.
So
Okay.
they have to stop.
I don't know. Like,
Nick isn't giving out much secrets, I promise.
I know it's not. I was trying. So hey.
I don't know. A lot of what we do is like we're with each other every single day, which is really, really hard to be able to handle. But
that's difficult.
But we learn so much like about
Together.
each other too. Yeah, and we're able to learn off of each other, and I don't know.
Well, not only that, like when Nick's down, I'm sure you bring him up and vice versa, which is a lot of this is mental or being in the right place in your head while you're there. You can't be super distracted and still try to read the surface, and a lot of times Nick might be fixing the car and Maddie's up on the line seeing how much faster everyone else is going, and then can come back and let him know,
or
like,
vice versa.
and she's smart from watching all of it. But the most important thing they do is run the piss out of what they have every week, every weekend, throughout the week. Like I tell everyone, because they're always asking, what's the secret? And the secret is test as much as you can. If you got a car that's capable of 550s right now, even if that's the fastest it can go, if you can just test on all sorts of different surfaces until you've got that car dialed, you're going to actually win a lot of stuff. Like it's like you said, it's about knowing where you're at and how fast you can go with what you have. That's why Billy Glidden destroys everyone with way less, with like single adjustable shocks on a Pro Mod, and he's beating guys that have $20,000 Penske shocks.
Well, your shocks, like on the back of a car, right? You have 4 shocks. You got 2 tires and 2 shocks. So, like, I mean, look at top fuel cars. They run a solid suspension. Right? There's a lot of fast cars that have no suspension at all now. So, like, but I'm not saying you can do that with the no prep stuff successfully, but yeah, it's there's a lot of things that are going back. In all of motorsports, there's such a cross reference between dirt car stuff to NASCAR stuff to drag racing to no prep racing, drag racing to whatever it may be, to IndyCar stuff to this and that. And like, it's all racing. You're trying to get to the point faster than the next guy. It's all the same shit. Like, people don't understand that. They think drag racing is completely different than mud racing, but like, I don't know. There's dirt track guys that put 800 horsepower down on mud, like, and don't spin the tire. Like, those guys know what the hell they're doing. Like, those guys are good. Like, and until, like, I personally feel like drag racing is way behind on a lot of aspects of motorsports as far as, like, the threshold of what a car is capable of doing. That's all speculation, but I believe that we have, with the 33, we had that car literally 5 months. And the first 2 months of having that car, we didn't do, like, any testing at all because my medical issues were, like, bad. So we literally had that car, like, running with any little bit of testing for, like, 3 months. And in those 3 months, I think we probably made the fastest pass at 3 different events, and like 3 or 4 different events probably. We only won one, but like we made some like killer passes at some of these places, and like that's only a car that we had together for like a couple months, and was far from being ironed out. You know what I mean? And being really figured out. Like we had a pretty good idea of what things we're gonna do. Like we went 5 teens on the 10th pass, and literally zero chasing adjustments from when I pulled it off the lift with when I got done building the car. I literally pulled it off the lift, and on the 10th pass, like no shock adjustments, no spring rate adjustments, no nothing, like no instant center adjustments, nothing. We went 5 teens, and like that's not fast. I honestly think we could have gone like probably 460s, 470s with that car on like a good prep track, but that's just not what we had to do. So I'm not sure it's worth trying to go that fast in a lot of these events, because like you could do pretty well having a car that goes 470s, 480s, this no prep stuff, and if you go low fives on like I don't even want to say that. But if you could go low 5s on like a backside track, like you got your shit together as of right now. What I personally believe on like a lot of these surfaces where like the fastest pass might have been like to date might be 530s, 550s, 570s on pass. I honestly think there's 2 to 3 tenths threshold of what a car is capable of doing on a 20-10-5 on that surface if it was really ironed out. And I don't know. If someone builds a legit purpose-built, no prep car to fit these rules, or lack thereof, and they have a little bit of time to test, I think it's going to be pretty damn apparent to what is capable of actually going down. And that's just is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to do it, but we're going to stick to our roots and do a old school car the next build. And I still think it has enough potential that we could be competitive and have fun and keep to who we are. So when we do our traveling and stuff like that, we're still a young couple with an old car and having fun kind of thing versus, another guy with an F body or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Something different, stand out. I think that people like you guys, so you guys are doing something against everybody else, So maybe if you don't mind sharing, I guess kind of what kind of builds you guys are doing. Some of the people are asking, like, there's a question down below if you guys saw that. For John was asking about, are you doing another 30s truck? Are you doing something different? And what kind of, some of them may not have seen what Maddie's car is and stuff like that. Do you mind sharing a little bit of what your plans are?
You want to talk about your car?
I guess. So a couple months ago, I took a trip down to North Carolina, and
Technically, actually like a half hour from where we're staying now.
Yeah.
Like that's just how
we didn't know that's how it was going to be. But there's some guys that Nick had helped out. What race was that?
Digger Die.
At Digger Die.
Yeah, a little bit.
And
we've talked back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah, they had a 63 4-door Chevy 2 wagon, and they were originally gonna make like a drag week trailer out of it or something like that. So to take on the drag and drive events, because he has a 4-door wagon as well that he races.
Mm-hmm.
But they just didn't have the time to do it, and he was like, we'd like to see something happen with this car. And I had been looking for a wagon. I'd prefer a 4-door wagon. It just kind of worked out really well. And he was like, if you want to come down and get it, come pick it up. So we did. I did. Nick was in Texas when I came and made that trip. But
I wanted to go buy David Hance's old Outlaw 10.5 car, and just to use for the meantime, and that deal just didn't work out. It just needed a lot of love. Some chassis shop had that car and did a number on it, so I don't know. I don't like unscrewing someone else's work. It's just I'd rather start from scratch.
Yeah. So that's what when we get into the shop down here in North Carolina, we'll start working on my car. I've gotten a few things here and there that we'll need to get it started, but I still need to find a tubular front K member for it.
They won't let me build one for the class rules and stuff like that, but that one will be probably a mid 7-second car in the quarter or something like that. High 7s, whatever, and it'll have like one of my spare motors or whatever in it, so that when we're traveling, we have
parts that we need just in case.
Parts. Like her car's gonna be fun and like fast and everything like that, but the next car that we build is gonna be targeting some of the money aspect of things, trying to win some races and stuff like that. So having the spare parts in another chassis, like it doesn't take a whole lot to pull the transmission out of her car and throw it in like the next car or whatever like that. So
that's smart. Kind of like Chris Rankin does that. I think he has 2 cars that are similar, and boy, does he do good because of that.
Yeah. So we'll have there'll be a twin turbo big block. I picked up a trick flow block for it. We still need to find a good 4-inch steel crank for it. It's some a lot of small parts and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I've been looking for one since the week before we lost the 33.
I thought we were talking about it at that bar at PRI.
I've been looking for a crank since November. Yep.
Yep, we sat down with that one guy, and he was like refurbishing broken ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I got one of those in the trailer right now as a hope and prayer type thing. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there will be that one, and then the next car we're gonna do is gonna be another. If I could have found a 33 to 34 Dodge pickup truck, we'd be building that because it has a wheelbase that I need, and having a bed makes for some really cool things I could do, like aerodynamically and stuff like that. But chances are we'll be doing probably like a 2-door sedan, early 30s, like 32 and older, or more square cars, 33 to 35 or more rounder, so something in that region. We might or might not have picked something up last weekend, but
what crank are you looking for?
Any good, it's a 2-piece rear main seal, any good quality 4-inch big block Chevy crank.
Okay, so not like a billet.
Nah, we don't got money for that shit. It's
Man,
a turbo motor.
I have one. If Jeff Barry, if you're still on here and you know what that crank, I'm pretty sure we just used it in that 540 ours. He has like a pallet of them. I should probably put a post and start selling them for him, huh?
I'd probably buy a couple of them.
Yeah, let me see. I'll check on that as soon as we're off.
I don't even care if the thing is like turn 10 or something like that. Like,
no, they're brand new on a pallet, brand new in the box. I think they're all. God, I'll message them real quick and find out what they are.
But then we'll be doing probably a 33.
There you go. Jeff made a comment.
Thank you, Jeff. Probably do. So we tell them. So some of you might have known about this car. We sold it just after we lost the Dirty 30.
Just before
we lost the 30. Because we were making room to start on a project for Maddie. Then we lost the 30, and then it was like, okay, we got to, the car. It's the, I don't know what we're going to name it again, but it was the little sister. We went and picked up the little sister last week. So it's a 112-inch wheelbase 33 sedan, 2-door sedan. That we're going to be doing some really trick shit with. So
nice.
We're going to try to get that car together. It literally, we pulled it out of freaking, I don't know. Out of like
the first time?
Well, the first time we pulled it out of like
the guy's overgrown front yard.
The guy's overgrown front yard. Then we had it in my backyard up in New York for 8 months or something like that, 6 months or something like that. It was buried like a foot in mud. Then we pulled it out of there, and I sold it to a buddy that was going to put it on a 4-wheel drive S10 chassis. And then he sold it because he went and bought a house. And then we just relocated the car a week and a half ago, something like that. So we shot up there and picked it up and we drove like probably a mile and a half back on this dirt road, and there was the little sister parked laying there behind the barn that burnt down to the ground. So I was like, I don't know, maybe it was just meant to be. So we pulled it out of a field twice now, and that car's rough, but it's plenty good for what we need to do to fit these rules and stuff like that. And I don't know, they asked for an outlaw car, so we're not going to build it as a complete outlaw car because I personally don't think that there's enough money and enough people that are willing or able to dedicate the time and stuff like that it needs to go as fast as the current rule set allows. And I'm just not convinced that a complete outlaw small tire race, no prep stuff can survive. And if it does, we can't afford to do it anyways. So we're going to build a car, factory style front suspension, factory firewall, so on and so forth. I'll be able to put the factory floors back in it. We'll run it without the factory floors and all that stuff. I like to build my one-off ladder bar setup like I did in the 33, but the wheelbase on that car is a little bit shorter, so that means my ladder bars have to be a little bit shorter, and that means the suspension just works faster. So we're probably going to turn that into a parallel four-lane car. So, but yeah, be another drop axle car, but it's going to be it should be a pretty bad mamma jamma. And we're probably going to be starting that. The goal is to be able to have the shop up and start working in it like early May, like middle of May. And that gives us like basically 2 months to build that car to show up to dig or die with it. But yeah, it's gonna be a factory wheelbase, factory body from firewall back, and so on and so forth.
Do you guys need help? Do you need help getting that together from anybody at all? People wanting to help you with your project to help you get it done? Would that be something you're open to, or you want to do it yourself?
As far as
just helping you get the car together in that time period. Would extra hands help you at all?
Man hours. There's gonna be a lot of work that needs to be done on the car that really like anyone can do. But as we're building that car, Maddie will be working on her Chevy too as well. Just because I don't know, it's kind of important to have her in her own project as well. So there's gonna be we're gonna like build the 33, the new car. That car is gonna be I'm not gonna bend the bars and stuff like that as nice as I did in the 33, where like all the bars are like nice, and I don't build that car so it's like almost modular, so that if something was to happen, I could front half that car, back half the car, or something like that, and just do the car so it's very, very easily. So like in a car, like the main hoop is the only part of the car that, as long as it survives, you can rebuild the car. As long as the main hoop stays intact, that's the only bar that you can't replace on the chassis. So I'm gonna build the main shell of the car like a brick shit house, and then the back half of the car and the front half of the car, if something happens to it, I'll be able to cut it off and build the back half, because I could knock out a back half in a couple days or something like that. So if something was to happen, like unfortunately happened to Ryan Mitchell with a KC Max, something like that happens, you can literally be back to racing in a couple days. So that's how we're gonna build that car, just so it's nice and modular, so that like you have to front half it or back half it or something that takes a wall or something like that, or you get pit maneuvered, you might have a half chance.
Do you use a chassis table when you back half them?
No, well, I just build everything on my. I'll be buying another 4-post lifter. I've been looking out for one, but I do everything on a 4-post lift, and then I just use a digital angle finder, because some people don't understand this, but you could build a car upside down, backwards, like friggin' inverted, whatever the way you want, as long as the mid plate's in there square and the rear end's in there square. Like, you could reference everything else off of the mid plate, the front plate, mid plate. You could angle it off. So like, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as the car is one bar is in there, dead nuts perfect, you can reference everything off of that bar in the mid plate. So it makes it a whole lot easier doing it on a 4-post lift, because I can lift the whole chassis up and lift the whole chassis down, and then I just set the 0 to 0 whatever it's at, and I set it up so like I could change the pitch of the car slightly on the lift. But yeah, basically just put it to zero and basically have a movable chassis table that you can crawl under and work around and get in between to set it all up. Then I built a little jig for the rear end, so it puts the axle center line at 14 inches for a 28-inch tall tire. So I put the rear end where I want it, put the motor where I want it, and get to building.
Cool. Well, it sounds exciting. You have a lot going on. We're excited for you guys, and I just want to guess you guys want to say anything to your fans and all that watch you guys, and you guys are going to be getting back in the swing of things again. And I think everybody's just excited. I mean, wondering what's going on with you guys. So this is awesome. And we thank you guys for coming on the show for a little bit and just kind of sharing a bit about your lives and stuff and kind of where you're at with everything. And we're very thankful and grateful. And to such great people, Nick and Maddie are awesome. If you've ever met them out there, always say hi to them, shake their hands, subscribe to their channel, support them any way you can. I mean, they tell you that they're doing this on their own. It's amazing what they're doing. That's all I got to say. They sold their house. They gave everything up to come on and be part of the racing family in the world. And one thing I love about this community is that everybody is willing to help out and make a difference and chip in. And
we definitely don't recommend our saying to doing this to anyone else. Like, don't say screw it, let's short sell it all, go racing. Because when someone takes your race car from you, that kind of sucks, and then you got to start over. But hey, I don't know, just pick up the pieces and keep on moving on, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm almost guaranteed someone paid them off, so because that car was gonna be a bad motherfucker, and that car was gonna come around this year. Like by this time next year, like that car was gonna be, by this time this year, like after we lost the car in November, and we were gonna spend all winter down south testing, and I firmly believe that car was gonna be a couple tenths faster than just about everyone like doing this backside no prep stuff. At least a couple tenths faster than everyone else. But it just didn't work out that way. So I guess I mean maybe next year we'll be in better shape a year from now. But yeah, Dig or Die is in a week, 5 days, 6 days, 5 days.
I don't know, Saturday.
It's Saturday of next week. So I don't know. We're gonna go out there, hang out, and maybe help someone win some money. So we'll see.
Feel good about yourself some way.
Yeah, we'll see. So we got there's one car that a guy offered us to drive for him, and we're working on a car for another guy. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That'd be awesome. That'd be kind of cool. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you. If you mind hanging out just for a second, but we want to thank everybody for watching the show. And you guys, and you'll see more of it. Our season has ended on the MSK show. We're gonna be hitting season 2 pretty soon with some changes, getting back to a lot of the basics on the channel. And you're gonna see a lot of changes on us. We have a full editing crew. We've been doing a lot of background stuff. You haven't seen a lot of videos from us, but now they're gonna start to come out. So thank you guys for watching. Go support them and go like their pages. And you guys have a great rest of your weekend.